All right, welcome back here. Thursday edition, live from our campus on Click Here Digital's campus here on Interlining between Drusilla and Airline in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it's a big day, big show. We said we had Gordon McKernan coming through. We got Chris Blair coming through, voice of the Tigers, who's going to be here at 8:30 this morning. And we heard from Wilson Alexander, who broke the news yesterday that Maason Smith was not going to be eligible for Florida State. It's a perfect day to talk to our guy. It's always a good day to talk to G as he comes through our new studio, one of our first guests here. It's great to see you first and foremost. Good morning.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks for having me, Jordy.
Absolutely. A lot to get to.
Yeah.
Obviously, we always want to talk about NIL and some of the things going on there, but one of your NIL players, athletes, representatives, and Maason Smith got the news yesterday that he was going to be missing game one. And I guess from your NIL perspective, your legal perspective, what are we looking at?
Yeah. Certainly want to talk about that, but I have to give a shout out right now to Bo White, the man here at Click Here Digital. For those of you who don't know him, he's nothing short of a genius. Yeah. And he's been handling my digital media for, over 10 years. And it just created just a growth trajectory that I would have expected. And he's desired all over the country. So anybody out there who needs some digital help here in Baton Rouge, greater Baton Rouge area, I would certainly look him up because he's something different. I
am in advertising and have been in sales of advertising. How uncommon is it for you to keep one representative for a decade? Right?
No, I had a little midlife crisis. I was stupid for about 12 months one time and had all these people chirping in my ear because we had grown a lot. Hey, you need to come try this and go try this guy in California and go try this guy there. And I wandered in the desert, literally, just like in the Bible. Just didn't no direction, didn't know what I was doing for about 12, 18 months.
Wow.
Watched my leads, everything just fall, and then went begging back, hand in hat to Bo, and Bo was kind enough to say, "Yep, you were not smart, young man, but come on back home." I did it, and I've never looked back. And he's done a great job. And he's all over the country. People don't realize the talent. We normally wouldn't have intellectual talent like that here in Baton Rouge, but he's been doing it a long time, and he's a good friend, and I'm fortunate that he is a partner.
I've been working for him and with him for 6 weeks, and it's the best university I've been to.
I'm telling you, it's great.
It's incredible.
But to your Maason comment, so I was in meetings all day yesterday, and I got a text from what you call it?
Scott?
No, the reporter.
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson, I'm sorry. Yeah. And I was like, I'm in a meeting right now. He said, tell me what's the deal with Maason. I'm like, which Maason? And I was like, so I couldn't answer it, but I saw the article. It took me several hours, and it was like basically, Maason suspended for some sort of dealings, and I was like, well, it doesn't mention me, but it doesn't not mention me.
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, call him Wilson right away. Wilson, this has nothing to do with me, man. I don't want people out there thinking that I've done something to create this infraction, because it was before he was here. It was a freshman. It was a signing. It was something with the older players as well. And that's what I thought, but I was trying to get to you. I just wanted to make sure. I said, please put that out there. So it's an unfortunate incident. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. Well, if this was Alabama, certainly it wouldn't be happening on the first game of the year against another top-ranked opponent. And it doesn't seem like the NCAA likes to treat LSU the same as it does maybe some of those other darlings, right? So it doesn't seem fair that a player of that talent for this game, that they would finally exercise that now.
You wear many hats and very talented, but from a legal perspective, obviously that's your background.
Yeah.
How do you view the NCAA and the way that
people think that they're like a legal entity. They're really not, right? So they don't have legal authority over you, right? They can't subpoena me. They have no jurisdictional thing like that, right? It's all relegated to playing in their environment or playing within their context. So they've got an NCAA game, so they have the authority to say, well, look, we agreed to this. And there was some back and forth between the NCAA and Mason's reps for a period of time, and he was hurt, so he was not able to serve it last year. But you certainly would think that there was some sort of agreement that could be had where maybe he serves at the fourth game of this year or something.
Right. NIL is a space and a term that continues to evolve.
Right.
You are at the forefront for absolutely in our state from it. What are you seeing on the horizon? What are some of the new things coming and changes?
Well, what I'm really seeing is some of those schools that we worry about, with the deep pockets, getting better organized, getting better at the game, getting better at recruiting. To lose a Colin Simmons, like that, when all indications that he wanted to be here, he was coming here. But the other side is just getting better at the game now. And I think people need to be aware of that. And I do think for the first time we're really hearing the first rumblings that Congress is starting to get interested. It just takes a while for Congress to do anything, right? Except spend our money. They do that really quickly and really well. Sure. Other than that, if they're really going to do something meaningful, it seems to take time. So I do think that's happening. It's just going to take some time.
Have you seen a model yet in the collective space? Have you seen anything that you look at from a model that you say, hey, look, we've got to follow this blueprint, or there's something that we can look at and mirror?
Well, I mean, we don't have UT's money, so we can't follow that model, right? That's just something different. You saw where the Texas A&M, one of the collectives collapsed. The IRS is getting much more harsh in the treatment of these collectives and what's deductible and what's not. They're going to do these charitable events, and you get to write your dollars for that, and you show up once a year or something. That's deemed a deductible expense. They're going after that hard, so those are collapsing. If you're going to do it, it's going to have to be some sort of true marketing expense for your business or something like that to get the deductibility. Kind of like what I think Bayou Traditions here is on the right track. I think they stand the best chance of withstanding the scrutiny of IRS and NCAA. I think it's closer to what it was intended to be.
What are your expectations for Kim Mulkey in year 3?
Oh man. Oh well, she's different, right? We all know that if you've spent any time with her, I hate to put pressure on her, but she puts pressure on herself, and she doesn't mind that.
I think she invites it, right?
Oh, she does, yeah. Well, the number 1 recruiting class, arguably the best coach ever. I know Gino up there at Connecticut's done his deal, but she's just different. You've got to think anything short of a Final Four type thing would be a disappointment. Now, you get some injuries or something like that, you can't control that. And if you think about last year, she was fortunate. No injuries, no major scandals, no major suspensions, anything like that. This team is supremely talented. Talked to Angel just the other day. Was asking her about Haley. How do you like Haley? We hadn't really a chance. We were on the team together, but we really hadn't bonded. But from everything I know, I love her, and she seems really cool. And I think it's going to be a fun scene. Haley's a big personality.
Yeah.
Big personality.
Yeah, she is.
And I think her and Angel be great.
Right. I know that you are very much aligned and represented and recognized with LSU and NIL, but you've done so much work outside of LSU in that space. What is it like kind of playing outside of this market within NIL? How has that gone for you?
People often ask me how you choose players, and I tell them this. I look for something that's interesting. Was it an interesting story, adversity in their life? Are they interesting on the field or on the court, right? It's not always interesting doesn't mean necessarily great, but you like that. If they're making the plays and they're getting the headlines, that's interesting. But it might just be a way they play. It might be something they do. It might be the kid who's diving on the ground every single time, and you want that type of scrappy attitude, or it might be a life adversity that they overcame. But anything like that, that's what I'm looking for. And so all of my offices around the state, they're on guard, and they're watching the headlines and the trendings to see, is there anything happening that's bubbling up? If there is, then we go after it and we sign it. But I don't have a quota that I want this many from this school. I'm waiting for that feel-good story that I can align myself with.
How has this space helped you? Content. I mean, you have become one of the dominant content creators, well within legal, but really kind of in the market. I mean, you're grubbing with G segments and all of this that you're putting out. How has that helped you, or what have you seen the benefit?
Yeah, I think there's a deeper saturation of the brand. Yeah. Right. You pretty much everybody knows the brand to some degree, right? 1,000 billboards and all that stuff across state. But then there's a deeper saturation within it, right? And it saturates to some people that otherwise kind of turn away from it. And now they're going, wow, he's supporting my hometown university. He's trying to give back. He's trying to do some things. People recognize, I think, intuitively that every dollar I spend in NIL is probably not as good. If I give every dollar I'm spending in NIL to Bo, right, to drive me more leads and calls and all that, that'd be money better spent, right? But it's not all about everything a return on the dollar. It's also about helping your local university, giving kids a better platform to be known and to people to see them. So I think it's done that, a deeper saturation, more people kind of going, okay, he's not such a bad guy. The guy who does all the crazy stuff, he's giving back.
The Barbie billboard is my favorite right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny.
So you're from Baton Rouge.
Yep.
Scott Woodward's from Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
There's every time you hear him talk, he talks alignment. How have you seen this place aligned? Because it seems like you are very much aligned with the success of the athletic program right now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, as I mentioned about Bo early on, Scott's different, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, arguably the best athletic director in the country. I mean, just see his handprints on the program everywhere. Most people just think of the coaches that he's hired, but Scott came up legislatively, right? He came up working for political folks, so he understands where dollars are, right? And that's so important in an athletic director, right? He understands, like, we can't compete dollar for dollar with the Texas or an Alabama and some of those things, but I understand how to go get money. I understand how these outside revenue streams. So there's all these things that people don't talk about that you'll see unfold through the years that's going to put LSU in much more stronger financial foundation to compete with everybody that he's doing behind the scenes. That, I'm aware of these things and other people are, but that's the first thing. It's just so strong I know the state of Louisiana can help LSU in this respect, so he starts angling for that and working that, with the politicians, the governors and the senators and representatives. So that's the first thing. Second thing, obviously, is hiring great coaches. And then he has understood NIL from the beginning. I know we were all a little worried that the collective was a little slow, but he had a plan, and it's working out. I mean, I think he's spectacular.
Everybody asked me for a hat. So I'm asking for everybody. Can the public get them? And
how
did this work for
you? That was a fun little ride, and as I call him, the OG Todd Graves. That's a true marketer and true genius, right? He really is in so many ways. And when he came up with that idea, I reached out to him, hey, let's do it again. He goes, no, you go do it. Go set that record way out there. So he's very generous. But that was a great time and a great experience. If you haven't been to Rocco's, and they're trying to come down, I think, for the Grambling game.
Oh, nice.
Present the check.
The poor Grambling quarterback. Maason Smith's going to be eligible.
So they're coming down. But, that was just a wonderful experience. My whole marketing team, there's a big group of them now. They responded because really I get ideas on the fly. I'm flying into Omaha, and I'm just pecking out ideas. All right, we got to do this. We got to do this. It's going, and they're responding to all my craziness. And this one worked out well. We ordered the hats. We went through them quickly. We ordered more hats. We went through those. So we're gonna have we bought all the ones in the country out with a little rope band like that. Uh-huh. So we're getting more made from China. They're getting put over. But I think this baseball season coming into it, we're going to have a big giveaway with a bunch of these hats.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Well, if you need a platform to give away, you got one here.
We can do that.
I know you talked about working with Bo and Click here and the team over here and us for the last 10 years. Do you see the team and what it means to them to work with you? I don't know if this surprises you to see everybody here.
Well, his team is always very gracious, and I think Bo does a great job of setting a kind of a culture of gratitude. At least from all the things I've seen of his company through the years and little workshops and things he does, and they write you thank you letters and stuff, right? And who still writes thank you letters, right? Although I did a little video yesterday, Taylor makes me do these things and give me 3 hacks for getting a job with you, and one of them was write a thank you note, right? But they do those little things really, really well, and it's not surprising to me that his team is up bright and early and greeting. That's emblematic of this company.
Well, everybody's hoping you can put your cape on and go get Maason Smith eligible for game 1. I know that you can't make miracles and make water into wine, but it is great to see you as always.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Jordy.
Yes.
Space looks great.
Thank you very much. Gordon McKernan, the G Squad, we're proud to be a part of it. We're here at Click Here Digital's campus where they've been working for him and with him for a decade, and it's obvious how he's been received both sides. It's great to see you. We'll be back. We'll be back with more here on the Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by R&B Builders.
There you go.